Hi folks, hope you are okay. Love to everybody out there. We're just going to do a little bit on Speaker's Corner review. We'll do a bit longer tomorrow night, but we'll just do a little bit. Hope everybody's okay. And love to everybody out there. So let's so shout out to
You've had a car on finance between 2007 and 2024. You could be owed compensation.
To establish.
I'm saying to myself,
Sure,
is that true?
If you're a Muslim.
No.
No, I can.
don't take that. Okay,
No,
that's
I can. This is good
that's
enough.
fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
So again,
Yep.
you need me. I don't need you. You're small. You're small. You're small. Listen.
these people who think the big time people. I've got no time for that. I've got no time for that. You think you're some kind of big shot, famous or whatever. You need me, I don't need you. You're heading for a fall if you start having that attitude. And sad to say, some Christian apologists also get like that, as if they're big time. And we're saved by grace. And just be careful. You know, we're all nobodies in the sight of God in the sense that everything we have from God is His grace, is His love. So if we think we're somebody, we think we're it, and we're high up, then we're heading for a great fall. So I can't stand that kind of attitude.
Listen. Hey, you are small fish. You've dealt with. So I'm gonna give you an opportunity to talk about the Paulinian dilemma. Either you accept or you walk away. Which one?
Sure. Please listen carefully.
Which one?
Please listen
Which one?
carefully. Please listen carefully.
Which one, brother?
Which one?
Don't panic.
So all this grandstanding, just get on with it.
Every time you finish speaking.
Which one?
Every time you finish
Which
speaking,
one, bro?
Every time you finish
Are you
speaking.
mentally ill? Which one, brother?
Would this guy now listen?
Which one?
Every time he finishes to speak, for some strange reason, he would not let me speak. As an intelligent man, to me, he would not listen. All right. So, to make a fool out of themselves, all the way to Speaker's Corner, and they can't even defend their own religion. In this case, you're a Muslim, I understand. Yeah.
That's amazing.
How is your topic dealing with Islam?
Bye.
Sure. If you don't be aggressive, put your hand down. Thank you. Now, to answer, if you listen,
See that?
what is the intelligent question? We agree on this, yeah? We agree on this. 3 minutes each.
Christianity versus Islam. Go ahead.
Jesus or Muhammad?
Yeah.
Who is his
Christianity versus
origin?
Go ahead.
Origin. Let's say origin of Christianity.
Oh my God! Just give your argument.
Sure.
brother.
Yeah.
Just go
Christianity.
ahead,
Lovely.
bro. Go
Don't
ahead.
panic.
Yeah,
If you calm,
I'm
calm.
panicking.
Stay calm. For Christian records, you have the Bible. A number of people of the apostolic community, including people such as Apostle James, Apostle Peter, Apostle Paul, who were eyewitnesses. Many of these were able to testify. But it is not just the Christians. You find these eyewitness records in the 27 books of the New Testament. But it is not just the Christians. You also have non-Christian records. Non-Christian records from Tacitus, Suetonius, Pliny the Younger. You have non-Christian Jewish records, Josephus. You have Babylonian Talmud and a Greek source, Samosata. Jesus' death, burial, resurrection is solid history and proves that in Jesus there is a supernatural source at play. So the origin of Jesus, the origin of Christianity, who is in the person of Jesus, firmly and supernaturally testified and well recorded in history. In contrast, go to Islam. If you go to Islam, of course, the origin of Islam is with Mohammed. But who knows about Mohammed? There is no source of information of where he was born, to whom he was born, what did he do with his life, which city he was based in, to which city he went from Mecca, and
So yeah, if you have used finance to pay for any of your cars since 2007, you could be
Muhammad, including the Quran. You have testimonies of basic facts of Muhammad. God knows who Muhammad was. God knows why anyone should consider Muhammad to be any supernatural source of information. Islam is based on a myth which was written centuries later about this person Muhammad. Go through your entire Quran. You won't have a clue about the historical person of Muhammad. And so what you find is you are following a book, my dear friends, which is historically unattested to, and this is based on a myth about a person who came. The myths were formed centuries later, and you read, and therefore you end up with a brainwashing system. Compare and contrast. Jesus died and he came back alive. Solid history. Muhammad, no one has a clue about. Okay.
You're done? All right. So
Yeah. Could someone else also keep time? So these fellows I don't trust. No, I don't.
So pause it.
I don't.
That time there.
One second. Could one second.
Surely you don't trust Muslims.
Well, there's no reason to trust any of you guys. Sorry.
So just before you start,
Yep.
just want to say something. He got 3-minute intro. I'm gonna get 3-minute intro. Then we're gonna talk like normal human beings. I'm not gonna do time. We're gonna have back and forth.
Sure.
You understand? So you don't have to run away. You understand? Beautiful. So start.
I'm willing. I am a Christian. I am an intelligent man.
Whatever.
No, please
Just
listen.
start. Just start.
Look at him. I asked. He spoke. But when I begin to speak, he panics every time. Notice that carefully. I heard what you said. Could I respond? No. Wait.
Start the time.
You said what you said. Let me
the time,
respond.
brother.
You said what you said. Let me respond. I am. Listen carefully.
You start the time.
Sure, I can. Because I heard you speak outside of the time. So please listen to me. Unlike you who panics, I am an intelligent Christian. I am an intelligent man. Now clearly you are a Muslim. Intelligence, I don't know where did you have basic level of intelligence might be lacking. So I am willing to change rules as long as it's a sensible conversation. What you are offering is perfectly fine. We can get on with it. But every time you speak, after you finish, you might want to hear me also. That's how intelligent conversations work. Thank you. Sure. In your case, that would be the case. Yeah, thank you.
All right. So our rule is his name, I believe. Okay. Iru, whatever his name is. So he already shot himself in the foot by comparing the historical origin of Jesus with the Prophet Muhammad. Let's start there. He mentioned Suetonius, he mentioned Tacitus, he mentioned Josephus. Okay, you know what the earliest non-Christian mention of a Jesus Christ? You know how many years it comes from? 80 years after Jesus. Do you know how many years a non-Muslim mention of a historical Muhammad comes? 2 years.
Wait, don't shout into me.
Hey, how long? 2 years after the Prophet Muhammad. Calm down. Stop my time.
But don't shout into me here.
Okay, stop my time.
No. Whoa. I do care. Wait. What you're doing is okay. Don't shout into me here. Thank you. Don't shout into me here. Just because you're panicking, don't shout into me here. Thank you. I can start all over if you want. I can start all over if you want.
All over again.
But don't shout into me here. Thank you. Thank you. Should I start all over? I can do that if you like.
Okay. I don't need it.
Sure. You've got nothing to offer. Don't shout into me here.
That claim about 2 years, within 2 years of Muhammad, we hear about Muhammad in 80 years after we hear about Jesus. That's not true. If we just go to, you come with me to 1 Corinthians 15. 1 Corinthians 15. It says, moreover, brethren, I declare unto you the gospel which I preached unto you, which you also received, to which you stand, by which you are saved, if you keep in memory. I have preached unto you, unless you have believed in vain. For I declared unto you that, first of all, that which I also received, how that Christ died for our sins according to the Scriptures, and that he was buried, and that he was rose from the dead, and that he was seen of Cephas and of the 12. Notice it says Cephas, that's Aramaic about Peter. And scholars, many scholars say that this passage, it actually has an earlier source that goes within 2 years of Jesus's what we believe resurrection. When you think about Mohammed and his sources, you've got Ibn Ishaq's biography that's not regarded as accurate even by Muslims. How long does that come? It's like, what's that, 80 years after? These hadiths, you've got like Bukhari, he chose 6,000 hadith stories of Muhammad out of, what was it, 600,000? So obviously there was mass creation of these hadiths that they come later. So it's a complete, utter lie or fabrication, what he said.
Certainly. Yeah.
All right.
Please go
All
on.
right, good.
That's what he
Sorry,
did before
sorry,
Iftar.
sorry. I know you have very delicate ears. I apologize.
Yeah, that's how ears are
Anyways,
normally.
so 2 years after the Prophet Muhammad, we have a called the 634 Ad Chronicle, which mentions the Prophet Muhammad by name by a non-Muslim Syriac Christian Eastern source. This is not even up for debate. You can't compare the two. The Prophet Muhammad is mentioned 2 years after. Then we have another 8 years after. Then we have another 20 years after. Then we have another 50 years after. All of those are Syriac non-Muslim sources that don't just attest to the Prophet Muhammad, but attest to his companions. They attest to his companions. They attest to Muawiyah. They attest to Uthman. They attest to Ali. They attest to the companions. If we compared the historical attestation of just the companions with Jesus Christ becomes a myth. He doesn't even exist.
Right, let's just check this issue of the Syriac. Right. Right, so you've got Dr. Jacobi 634, 640, and he mentions refers to a prophet among the Arabs, but it's not specifically mentioning Muhammad. So that source is not specific. Then it says, what it says mentions a battle involving the Arabs of Muhammad. That's Thomas the Presbyter. That's 6640 AD. But again, there's nothing specific there. So that's not a fantastic source. Armenian history attributed Seboas. Uh, 66 So what's that? That's 10 years after Mohammed. Let's see. So then you have so Shabir, which is 10 years after Mohammed, mentions that he is a merchant by profession, a religious preacher, leader, preaches that he's the God of preaches about the God of Abraham, teaches descent from Abraham. Says he organized the Arabs into an organized force. But he doesn't say anything about his Mecca or Medina. Doesn't mention anything about the Quran. Doesn't mention anything about miracles. Doesn't mention about anything how great he was. So Muhammad was existed. He was a religious leader, and that's about it, really. So it's not an endorsement of historical endorsement of his prophethood or whatever, you know. So yeah. Right. Sorry that. Right. So on the Dome of the Rock, so that's like 30 years later, it mentions Muhammad is a messenger of God. Early Arabic papyri and coins, right about 700 AD, mentions papyri and coins naming Muhammad. Early literary biographies are much later. So you're talking like 60, 80 years later, you've got Ibn Ishaq. That's 130 years after the event. Al-Waqi and Ibn Isnad, 9th century. Bukhari, 200 years later. Wow. The Islamic sources are like 130 years, 200 years later. That's not good.
Okay, if we compare the historical attestation of the two. Okay, so yes, we have better historical attestation. Number two, the attestation from Josephus, by the consensus of scholarship, of Josephus scholarship, is a later forgery by Christian authors. How do we know that? Well, because we have Jerome and Origen, other Christian authors, who tell us what their copy of the Antiquities of the Jews say, and they say that they don't mention a Jesus Christ. Rather, they only mention a James, and that James was...
That's not true. Origen and Jerome are implying that Josephus didn't believe as a believer in Jesus. you know. But so that's incorrect what he's saying. They weren't saying that Jesus was not in the text. Consensus of scholarship on Josephus concerning the testimonium, where it says it talks about Jesus, his death and resurrection, and his miracles. You got like Victor Vermeers did a calculation. He was an eminent scholar in this field. And 30% of scholars say it's original. Again, another 30% say it's not original. And then the 40% say it's been interpolated. In other words, it's been a little bit doctored. So the vast majority believe that when it mentions about Jesus, it's actually reliable, but with one or two words that have been changed. But new scholarship's coming out now, which challenging that consensus. And it can be shown quite easily in the scholarship that there are, if you take textual variants of the testimonium and look at all the Syriac and all the other various translations of Josephus, that is originally Josephus. So he's not really in touch with the scholarship on that issue.
Was the brother of a Messiah, but the copy that Origen has in his hand does not include the Testimonium Flavianum that you're referring to. So throw Josephus.
That's incorrect. That's not correct. Origen is just saying Jesus, that Josephus was not a Christian.
Out of the bus now. Tacitus, we can grant you Tacitus. Tacitus is not a big attestation anyway. Tacitus just mentions a Christus, that the Christians believe in a Christus who died under.
Yeah, that's Latin for Christ.
Pontius Pilate. Okay, so now let's go to the death, burial, and resurrection. I want you to give me evidence that the historical Jesus was buried and resurrected without the dependence on the Gospel of Mark. Give the evidence. Go ahead.
Beautiful. Lovely. So now you, from what you said earlier, now you want to
use 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 1 to 7, which is an early source.
do a conversation.
Yes.
Not timed. Timed, I would
Just back and forth.
back and forth.
Yeah.
But we need to be reasonable. If civilized, which is, I need to remind you, all of you guys, civilized, not violent, civilized, back and forth. But clearly, of course, there will still be controversy about timing. So I will say, should we say roughly about maximum 5 minutes? If someone wants to, if you are responding, there should be a maximum limit, so you don't end up
5 minutes.
maybe 3 minutes.
No, brother, just talk. Just talk, brother.
Sure. Okay. So everyone, please listen carefully. That's lovely. Thank you very much. Great start. Great start. No violence. Lovely.
Just go ahead, bro. Just go ahead.
For a dead person coming back alive, we have attestation from the same generation of the coming back.
Yeah.
Now you mentioned that there are a number of written sources about Mohammed. Do you know that none of these written sources mention that Mohammed was born in Mecca, based in Mecca, went to Medina, and did what he did in Medina?
They don't need to.
Please listen carefully.
We're having a back and forth.
Okay. So you want to? Okay, that's fine.
So they don't need to.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they could have been the reference there. The Muhammad that is referred to in the early sources is a Muhammad who went even to Galilee to fight in Galilee.
No.
Do you believe in a Muhammad who fought in
Doesn't say
Israel?
that. Show it.
Okay. Let's. I can.
I know exactly what you're referring to.
Yeah.
And it doesn't say Muhammad was there. It just says their leader was Muhammad. So show it. Go ahead.
No.
That Muhammad was there fighting.
No, 1 second. So while I take that.
No.
No. While okay, let's. While I take that.
Show it. Sure. An early Syriac source that says Muhammad was there in Galilee fighting. Just making shit up, man.
Islamic awareness.
Yo, Masers.
Just talk away, brother.
Don't worry, don't ramble on. Hey, TikTok clown, please, if you stay quiet, thank you very much. Don't shout into me. Normally, I don't entertain you. In my proximity. So if you please stay quiet, thank you very much. So,
If you got 1 to 4 correct, you're a chaotic thinker. If you got 5 to 8 correct,
let's
What Syriac letter are you reading?
okay. Do you see that? A record of the Arab conquest of Syria, 15 to 16 AH.
Yeah.
BL.
Yeah.
Act
Okay,
one,
cool. Yes.
Yeah, let's read.
Yeah.
And in January, the red portion is, of course,
Yes.
should I do that? So maybe that'll be better for you to read.
No, it's
And in
sideways now, brother. It's sideways.
In January,
Yeah.
they took the word for their lives. MSR and many villages were ruined
Yeah.
with killing
Of the
by Mohammed.
the Arabs of Muhammad.
Okay.
What does it say? Read it. Read it. Read it. You
don't-
just skipped it. Read it.
If you don't shout.
Read it. Read it. Read it. Read it. Read it.
All right. All right.
One line for,
Okay.
man.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
If the violent Muslims, if you don't shout into my ear, thank you. If the violent Muslims, I must once
read it.
as a mafia ringleader, could you ask once ago?
Just read it.
As a mafia ringleader, as a mafia ringleader, could you request your entourage? Could you request your entourage not to shout into my ear? A basic request
request you to
at
read.
Speaker's Corner.
I
Now,
request you to read.
so the controversy here,
Does it say the Arabs of Muhammad?
I'm responding. I'm responding right now.
Did you read it?
So clearly
Go ahead.
the clueless Muslims give in to too much brainwashing that they don't care about details. Do you see the bracket there?
Yeah. Which
What does that?
reconstru-
Do you
which-
see the bracket
which
there or
re-
not?
Yeah, I see
What
it.
do-
I
what
see
does
it.
a
I'm
bracket
responding.
in a
I'm
his-
responding. It means.
No,
that-
I haven't
it means-
finished.
It means
I haven't
you asked
finished.
me a question.
I haven't.
You asked me a question.
Which you
You
answered.
asked me a question.
Which you
No,
answered.
I haven't yet. I haven't. I'm
Do
answering.
you see brackets there? Yes,
I'm
you
answering.
said.
I'm
Okay.
answering.
No.
I'm answering. You asked me.
Please
what do the
listen
bra-
carefully.
You asked me.
Please
what
listen carefully.
You just asked the question.
Please listen
You
carefully.
just asked the question.
No.
Why am I still listening?
I will remind you,
Stop stalling.
as a
You are
Muslim,
panicking right
as
now.
a Muslim,
This is panic
I
mode,
completely
Panic
understand
mode.
you are thoroughly
Read it.
panicking
Can you?
because
why
more
are you hiding
information is
Why are you
being
hiding it,
brought to
brother?
the surface.
All right, so let's
Sure, let's
look
read.
at
If you
it.
read
All right,
that carefully,
So watch this.
So,
So
yeah.
it says, can I touch your phone?
you can, but if
Okay.
you don't shout into me, that'll be lovely.
Okay, I got you.
And if you ask your
All right. So look, it says, and many villages were ruined with the killing by bracket Arabs of Muhammad.
Do you know
Now,
why
he
it
asked-
is in
let me
brackets?
finish. Let me finish. Let me finish. Let me finish. Do you even know which chronicle this is?
But do you know
Just
why?
wait, wait.
No. Oh, wow.
One second.
Can we please
One
focus?
second.
I don't want to be
Just
distracted.
Just listen. Just listen. You've never read scholarship into this.
Excuse
I
me.
have.
Is this a back and forth?
Yes, it is.
Is this a back and
It
forth?
is.
So my
So let me
question, my,
respond.
no,
Let me.
my,
let me respond. I'm
if
responding to
if
you.
I could respond,
I'm respond-
if I could,
This guy's wasting time.
where we started,
You asked the question, what are the brackets?
maybe I'll remind you.
I'm
As a
telling you-
Muslim, you might be confused
Yo,
every now and then.
Actually,
So maybe I'll remind. The challenge we put, the challenge,
You're finished.
the challenge.
You're finished.
No,
That's it. You're done.
Two
You're done.
Muslims.
You're done.
Two Muslims
You're done, brother.
whose general IQ level is as low as
Brother.
yours. Clearly,
You just
I
asked.
completely
You just
understand.
asked what the brackets are.
The
Let me
topic,
tell you what they are.
the topic,
Can I tell you what they are?
tell me, and then I'll respond.
Okay, beautiful. So he doesn't even know which chronicle this is. I'll teach you. This is called the Ad 634 Chronicle. This is a Maronite chronicle. The year 6. He's never read a scholarship on this. I've read scholarship on this. The reason you find brackets by your own source is because the manuscript is damaged. And because the manuscript is damaged, they know there were words there, but they can't read those words because the manuscript is damaged. So what do scholars do? They reconstruct to the best of their ability what it originally said. It didn't just say the killings of Muhammad, because there are words there that are not readable. So they reconstruct, and your own source reconstructs it as the Arabs of Muhammad, right?
Who is my own source?
The one you're pulling up.
This is Maser. Okay.
Lord
Listen.
you brought the source up, right? Did you bring up the source?
Did you speak so far?
Did you bring up the
Did
source?
you speak so
Answer
far?
the question.
Did you speak
Did
so
he bring
far?
the source?
Did you speak so
I'm
far?
gonna keep speaking.
Did you speak so far?
Yo, are you panicking, man?
I'm not
Are you
panicking.
manifesting?
There is only one
So can you
person.
answer
There
the
is
question?
only one person who spoke a lot
You're
already.
so easy, bro.
There is only one.
I think Arul got caught out there. Yeah, I think he was making a claim that the source was saying that Mohammed went to Galilee or something, but then it says that Arab. There was a caveat there, a qualification. So insanity, in order to choose our thoughts, we should have to think about them before we think about them. That's impossible. Insanity. In order to choose our thoughts, we would have to think about them before we think about them. That's impossible. We're living in a super-determined simulation. Our grand agency, why would anyone who believe in an eternal hell gamble with bringing life into the world? I don't know if you want to come on and chat, my friend. There's the link if you want to come on. I can't get more fairer than that, my friend.
Completely understand.
It took 10 minutes.
To a Muslim who just wants to speak over and would not want to
I think to be fair, I think Arul made a claim, and I think he's not giving a defense of that claim in the text, and I think Orthodox Muslim has caught him out on that. Unless Arul comes up with something now, you know.
Listen any further, which is your case. I completely understand. It's either this or violence, no meaningful dialogue.
Okay, I did offer you, my friend. I did give you the opportunity to come on, you know. I don't bite, so I'm willing to listen and to engage with you. I mean, the first question that I would ask you is, what's your worldview? Where you coming from? Are you an agnostic? Are you an atheist? And then after I've established that, we can have a meaningful dialogue. But if you're not willing to come on, and I understand that some people, they just want their privacy, so I understand that. So I appreciate that. So no worries. But I'm just going to play videos and commentate on that. If you do make a comment, I'll try and reply as best I can. You know, if you make a comment, I'll try and reply to it, but I am trying to play these videos and respond, you know.
No meaningful dialogue.
How does it feel to get baked, though?
I wouldn't know. You have plenty of experience. And now, if you can stay focused right now, let me ask you this very simply. This source, by the way, was Maser's source, but let's deal with that later. What is the earliest source that refers to Mecca?
That's irrelevant.
Muhammad being from Mecca is irrelevant?
It's irrelevant.
Muhammad being from Mecca is irrelevant?
Irrelevant.
Look at this orthodox, clueless Muslim. Muhammad being from Mecca is irrelevant?
Irrelevant.
Okay, that's irrelevant. That's fine. That's irrelevant. What's the earliest source of information?
Why are you running
What's the
away?
earliest? What is
I think that's a good point. I think Arul made a very good point there and pulled it back. What is the source, earliest source? It's a very good point. That's going to be like 130 years later, isn't it?
the earliest?
Stop questioning, man.
Why are you running away?
What is the
Why are you
earliest?
changing the topic?
It's okay.
Deal with the Arabs and Muhammad
What
point.
is the earliest source of information that you have that there was a hijrah from Mecca to Medina?
Do you first concede that point?
What source of information?
Do you first concede that point? Do you concede that point?
Concede it.
Clearly,
Concede the point, we'll move on.
clearly,
Concede it. Concede it.
clearly,
Concede
the
it.
problem we are having right now, clearly,
The problem we are facing right now, whether you understood or not,
Can you concede it?
despite all your nasty tactics or violence which you employ elsewhere,
I would just say, no, I stand corrected on that. There's nothing wrong in saying that. You know, you don't have to win everything. You don't have to get everything right. We're not perfect. We can all make mistakes. Arul's made some really good points about what's the earliest source for Menk and what's the earliest source for Hijab. Them are brilliant points. Them show you that the Islamic sources are very, very late as compared to Christianity. And those 2 points, they're very powerful arguments. So the Muslim Orthodox guy, he knows that they're powerful arguments. So he's coming back to that point that he made where he cornered Arul on the issue of the Syriac text. And what I would have said is I'd have said, you know what? Yeah, I quoted it. I should have gone deeper. I appreciate that. And yeah, okay, thank you. And then moved on.
Intelligence.
Come on, man.
There is not much of intelligence showing up at Speaker's Corner. At Speaker's Corner, unlike in your live streams, at Speaker's Corner, we deal with intelligence.
Yeah, but when you're saying it's just mental, 2 incoherent worldviews arguing with each other, super determinism is a bitch. Yeah, but the problem is that that's self-refuting, isn't it? It's self-refuting. If what you're saying is correct, it would negate itself. Do you understand what I'm saying? The fact that... Do you see what I'm getting at? When you said it's just mental, 2 incoherent worldviews arguing with each other, super determinant is a bitch. The fact that you're making that statement, which negates itself, it cancels itself out. Otherwise, how could you make that statement? So it's self-refuting. You can't say, it's like me saying it doesn't make sense. Life doesn't make sense. But I'm making a sensible statement about life doesn't make sense. That's what I'm saying. It's self-refuting. And you've got to deal with the fact that you have moral responsibility, moral culpability. You can't imagine you went just to say, imagine you go into a shop, you take a gun and you you shoot someone, right? And then you come before the judge. Yeah, but all right, but you go before the judge and you say it's just mental. You use irony to the judge. 2 incoherent worldviews arguing with each other. Super determined is a bitch. You know, it was all predetermined. It wasn't me, judge. The judge is going to put you in jail. So it destroys moral culpability.
And details that are given to the public. So in relation to the greater point we were making earlier,
Can you concede
what
this point?
is the... No, I was talking about Muhammad of Islam.
Can you concede this point first?
If you could stay focused right now.
Are you wrong? Are you wrong on this?
As I completely heard you when you said Mecca, Muhammad is irrelevant.
Are you wrong?
Could I now get you? Could I now get some information? What is the earliest source?
concede?
What is the earliest source of information
Are you going to
that
concede?
Muhammad engaged in a hijrah
Are you gonna-
from? If you can
Okay.
focus on the angle on the Friday, what I is quite happy. But I would.
Panic mode! Panic mode! Panic mode! Panic! You made a few points. I'm going to respond to everything.
Historicity of
You
Muhammad.
cut me off when I was speaking. When I said the Prophet is your master, you started panicking when you heard that.
That is not a topic at hand. If you are not,
Let me finish.
whoa.
Don't cut me
Yo,
off.
Muhammad,
Stop cutting me
don't
off.
ever associate me with
Lord,
him.
Stop. You are.
If you
You've
get
been doing it.
balanced, stay away, jihadist. If you are unwilling to respond, intelligently.
Talk now. You made a few points about jihadists and so on and so forth.
No, historicity of Muhammad.
No.
Historicity of Muhammad.
Stop. You don't.
This is a conversation. Please look at him run away. Look at the fools.
On your own as well.
Yeah, thank you. Look at the clowns. Look at the clowns run away in the pack and they leave as a pack. Ultimately, come as a pack. And the Lord Jesus warned us a long time ago about this. I am sending you as sheep amongst the nation. Event. See?
Try telling that to a judge, bro. Try telling that to a judge, bro. Yeah, I didn't enjoy that conversation, to be honest. Just being honest about it. But thank you for sharing, my friend. I must say, you are a very interesting person. You are a very interesting person. It's a shame that you won't come on, because you're a very interesting person, my friend. You have some very interesting thoughts. Let's see what else is. That should be interesting. Let's listen to this for a minute. This is just come out recently, so we'll listen to this for 10 minutes. So,
wrote a book called What Are the Gospels? Now, he had a background in classics, okay? He initially thought that, oh, that's not changing, my mistake. There we go. I keep forgetting I got to click on both of them there. So Richard Burridge wrote a very important book, What Are the Gospels? He was originally working in classics, and he said this: as someone with a classical background, I was unimpressed with the argument put forward by New Testament scholars, especially in America, to demonstrate the biographical genre of the Gospels. Therefore, a negative result was expected, exposing the biographical hypothesis as untenable. However, as the work has developed, I have become increasingly convinced that it is indeed the right one, that the Gospels are part of a genre of ancient biography or life literature. So he shifted the narrative. He started to go, you know what? These are not Christian. These are not like unique Christian documents. These are Greco-Roman biographies. Now, why is that important? Now, it's important because if you were going to write history in the ancient world of a person, a sage, a philosopher, you write a biography. You weren't writing fiction. If you were writing about a biography, if you were writing about someone, you would do this in this genre. The genre the gospel authors are using is telling us they wanted to write history. So when Richard Burridge's book came out, he actually shifted the consensus of scholars. So you can go to Muslims and you can be like, the consensus of scholars is that the gospel authors were trying to write historical documents or were writing historical documents. That's important because they were not trying to write fiction. They were not making things up. They were trying to capture what really happened. How did he do this? Well, he noticed that biographies in the ancient world open with prologues. He did a whole verb analysis. If you go through his book, he goes through all the verbs in the Gospels and other Greco-Roman biographies. He was really boring, okay? Very boring in what he did, but it's important. He noted they wrote in a prose narrative. This is typical biblical literature. He noted the narrative length. It's very similar. You'd be like, look, Mark is really short, but you know, John is longer, and then Matthew and Luke are much longer. Well, that was common. Biographers could write about roughly Mark's.
Yeah, so it's true. The consensus of scholarship has changed. Most scholars now see the Gospels as historical biography, which is a massive change, a sea change in scholarship. So yeah, it's true. I'm going to listen to that tomorrow because it looks good. Going to look at I think I saw this caught my eye. This caught my eye. This was a brilliant conversation. We'll look at it in more detail tomorrow night, but we'll just catch a little bit of it now.
Ibn Masud reading, which is found in the earliest.
Who said that? Thank you.
I say that's what Muslims claim. Even if we scrap that,
there's a difference of opinion.
Okay, let me scrap that for the sake of argument.
Yeah.
Let me scrap that for the sake of argument. My point still remains the same.
Yeah.
If there are variant readings in the Birmingham manuscripts, then you can't say to me that your Quran has been perfectly preserved. You cannot say that.
Yeah, you can ask a question about the Gospels, bro.
All right, bro. So okay. So the manuscripts.
And by the way, those variant readings do not exist within the 10 canonical readings.
Can we have 1 minute? 1 minute. Because every time I make a point, obviously you're interjecting. And I can't make my point. Yeah. So you got to remember that the Quran, the primary method of preservation was through oral recitation and memorization. The mushafs or the manuscripts were a memoir aid, okay? They were not the go-to in terms of preservation and recitation. Recitation was primarily done through memorization.
Okay.
And in terms of the variations which you mentioned, I've not looked into them. From what I can read, I did read that it's 99% accurate to what we have today, which you may be correct, you may not be correct.
Okay.
But it's not.
So 99.9 correct. That's changed. Muslims used to say 100%. The text is 100% correct. That's amazing. They have changed that now. But the Quran wasn't just about memorization, though. It was written on sticks, stones, and bones right at the beginning. So, which I think this guy mentioned, you know.
Right, even if the skeletal text from the Birmingham manuscript is 99%.
If I wanted to be a bit facetious, I would say, what's the point of answering you? Because your question was predetermined and is not really coming from you. So why should I give an answer to you, which is predetermined, which is part of the matrix, when you're part of the matrix? So there's no point in having a conversation. So the fact that we're going to have a meaningful conversation on the topic means that it's not pre-programmed. Otherwise, if it's pre-programmed, bro, what's the point of having a conversation about translations of the gospel? I use a variety of translations, bro. I use the King James, but I use other translations as well. Even it does follow. You know it follows. Come on, you know it follows.
In alignment with what we have today, you got to remember that's not our go-to. Our go-to is the memorization and recitation, and that's a memoir aid.
Okay, so it sounds to me then that you're accepting that the Birmingham folio is not 100% the same as what you have in today's Quran.
Credible authorities say it's somewhere along 99%.
Okay, so it's not perfectly the same then. That's one. Number two, in terms of the memorization of the Quran.
Yeah.
I do not accept that it's been preserved through memorization. Why do I say this? Because of the hadith of Sahih al-Bukhari, number 4986.
Yeah.
It says that Zayd collected the Quran.
Yeah.
From fragmentary scripts, from parchment, from thin white stones, from the chest of men who knew maybe a verse or two.
Yeah.
And from palm stalks as well.
Yeah.
Zayd was one of the scribes of Muhammad. Muhammad had 4 scribes from the Ansar. In the hadith, it says that they collected the Quran during the lifetime of Muhammad. But yet, when it came to putting the Quran together, they weren't able to use that material to make a mushaf. He had to go around picking it up from random people. Who are the people that Zayd collected the Quran from? How do we know that they heard it from Muhammad? How do we know that they were correct in what they recorded from Muhammad?
Yeah.
We don't have this evidence. You say that it's preserved orally or through memorization, but when Zayd collected it, he didn't collect it using memorization.
Yeah.
He collected it from what people wrote and what people on various different materials, and we don't know who those people are. So how can you tell me if the first mushaf that Abu Bakr had asked Zayd to compile, to search for, was dependent on things that were written down by random men we don't know? How on earth can any Muslim tell me that the Quran has been preserved through memorization?
That's some great points. I love this guy. It's really, really good. Absolutely, really, really good. And the Muslim guy is really nice. It's a good conversation. It's edifying. It's educational. But I have to admit, the guy who's the Christian guy, he knows his stuff. He's doing really, really well, and I'm finding it fascinating. And he's a good point, because the sticks and stones, the Quran was written on sticks, stones, and bones, but we don't know who collected all those sticks, stones, and bones. So who collected them? So it's a brilliant point. And the Muslim guy is doing really well too.
So again, it's common knowledge. It's common knowledge amongst credible scholars and amongst Muslim scholars that the primary method of memorization of the Quran is through memorization, through oral recitation, and the mushafs and the manuscripts are a memoir aid. The reason why the manuscripts were collated and the parchments were collated at the time of Abu Bakr and later by Uthman is because by that time thousands had already memorized the Quran. At the time of Uthman, what's happened? Hundreds of thousands have already memorized the Quran. But at that time, Islam was being spread through different countries and people were making mistakes. Okay, they didn't want to prevent, they wanted to prevent the issue that the Christians have today.
You're mixing things up.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about Uthman. I'm talking about Abu Bakr.
Yeah.
Uthman.
Yeah, he's going before Uthman. He's going right to the beginning, and it was written on sticks, stones, and bones, and we don't know who collected them. And if it was about oral transmission, why was it written on sticks, stones, and bones, and why was it collected? That's way before Uthman. It's a good point, but I have to say that the Muslim guy and the Christian guy, it's a model of dialogue. The Muslim guy is conducting himself impeccably, very respectful, and because he's respectful, and because the Christian guy's respectful, and they're having a really good dialogue. It's edifying, so hats off to the Muslim guy. I don't know who you are, but you are a credit to your faith because you're conducting yourself in a really, really good way. And to the Christian guy, hats off to you. Your knowledge is really encouraging to see that knowledge. And yeah, it's really good. So we'll probably look at it tomorrow night, go through this. We're at nearly 6.5 minutes into it. So we'll go into it later. Okay, with respect to you, I'll finish with this. We'll finish with this and we'll come back to that video tomorrow night. We'll go in detail, but we'll deal with Nit Chafan, who's kindly put this statement out there. With respect to you, there's more evidence for the golden plates of Mormonism existing than Jesus speaking as a baby or him being resurrected. Well, as a Christian, as an Orthodox evangelical Christian, we don't make the claim that Jesus spoke as a baby. That's in Gnostic Gospels and that's in the Quranic text. And those are later documents that we don't respect because they just are, right? So all that's left for me is you're saying, with respect to you, there's more evidence for the golden plates of Mormonism existing than Jesus being resurrected. So that's the bit that I can deal with. So the golden plates of Mormonism. Well, the source of those golden plates is the Book of Mormon. There's no evidence for the Book of Mormon because the main claim of the Book of Mormon is there's a tribe that went from Jerusalem over to North America, and then there was these battles and tribes and everything. There's no archaeological evidence for all that. So we know the Book of Mormon is false. Therefore, we know the golden plates is false. Because the Book of Mormon is the golden plate. It was a translation of the golden plates. So that's number one. Number two, some of the people, at least one of the person who signed a declaration that he was a witness of the golden plates, reneged on it and said he wasn't telling the truth. You don't see that with any of the apostles. Matthew, Mark, Luke, or John. You don't see it with Luke. You don't see it with the Apostle Paul or any of the apostles or any of the people around the main leaders like Luke. You don't see any one of them saying that they were lying. The Gospels are based on eyewitnesses in the Gospel of Luke. So the Gospel of Luke. It says, for as much as many have taken in hand to set forth and order a declaration of those things which are most surely believed among us, even as they determined then unto us the beginning were eyewitnesses and ministers of the word. Eyewitnesses. The word eyewitness there is the same word that Polybius used. And Polybius was a historian a few hundred years before Luke. And he said to be a good historian, you've got to use eyewitness material. And he influenced first century historians. So Luke is collecting eyewitness material, and in the ancient world you have what is called an inclusio, which gives an indication of the material that you're using. And there's an inclusio of women at the beginning, middle, and end of the Gospel of Luke, showing you that Luke got his eyewitnesses from women. So I've given you a little bit of evidence as compared to the Book of Mormon and the golden plates. So there we are. All right, I'm going to go. And God bless you. Thank you, Nichefan, and anybody else who's come, Teddy or anybody else. God bless you. Love to all of you. And may God be with you. We'll be out at Speaker's Corner tomorrow night. We'll be here tomorrow night if you want to come and listen. Take care and God bless you. Don't forget the 2 Easter talks. I did the person of Christ, the work of Christ. Massive detail in scripture there. Really nice study. It's there for you to enjoy. May God be with you. I'll be out preaching, God willing, on Tuesday. I'm going to be talking to Pastor Charles in Malawi and discussing how the college is going to go forward in Malawi on Wednesday. And then Mike's coming to stay on Friday night, and we're going to be going down to London for the weekend. So please pray about all these things and pray about revival, as Rob was saying. And yeah, so God bless you. Love to everybody, and see you tomorrow, God willing. Take care.